everyone, it's Debra Eckerling, author of Your Goal Guide, a roadmap for setting, planning, achieving your goals, and founder of the Deb Method. And I'm here today with my fellow Mango author, G. Brian Benson, because it's monthly goals times. And what a better time to talk with my friend who's the author of Habits for Success than monthly goal time. So Brian, welcome. Thanks for joining me.
It's my pleasure. It's good to be here. Thanks, Deborah.
So what did I miss? You should introduce yourself a little bit more.
Oh, I hate talking about myself.
I know. That's why I asked you. You're welcome.
What do you want to know?
Well, You're an actor. You're an author. You are a marathoner, right? You did Ironmans.
In the past, yes. Yes. Many lifetimes ago, yes.
But most of all, you're a go-getter. You are the type of person that you just kind of, life happens and you do the next thing and you do the next thing and you go and you grab it, etc.
I like to create positive content in all kinds of different ways, whether it's a book
that what I just said?
Yeah, but I'm honing that. Yeah. Whether it's a book, a short film, a talk, you name it. I just love to put positive content out in the world that hopefully gets people thinking and stepping into their true selves, and kind of, maybe if it's not quite there yet, to help them begin the process of loving and accepting themselves more, because I think that's the key to everything.
That's true. And so you help people step into themselves, and I help people figure out what they want after they do that. We're
Like
peanut butter and jelly.
I know, right? Reese's peanut butter cup.
Even better. So we're at it's the June goals. That is the topic of Goal Chat Live. And for those who are unfamiliar, I also lead the Goal Chat Twitter chat on Sundays at 7. And it's all about sharing your wins, setting your goals. And then we talk about the week's special topic. Mm-hmm. And it's a new month. Things are opening up a little bit. So I think we can play with our goals a little bit more. But before we jump in to the goals for June, you can't talk about June goals without talking about wins for May. So I'm putting you on the spot.
Yeah.
What was your biggest win in May? And if you're watching us live, thank you for joining us. And feel free to share in the comments your win, because especially with life and what's going on in the world, I think it's more important than ever that we celebrate all wins, small wins, large wins, any size wins, because that's kind of what motivates us to keep going, right?
Yeah, absolutely. For me, boy, I've had such an interesting last 5 or 6 months, but in a nutshell, I was diagnosed with prostate cancer, and I just had surgery 6 weeks ago. So there's a lot of navigating all of that and all that comes with that. But as far as wins for me last month, I think it's just continuing to be patient with the process of healing, and not forcing myself, just being patient, and just doing what I need to do to stay healthy. And I've been doing a good job of that. And so that helps me stay in balance. I have those tools that I use to stay in balance that is helping me, kind of move through what I've had to go through. So there you go. How about you?
Oh, me? Oh,
yeah. It's not just about me.
Yeah. Well, I say this almost every week on the show. I feel blessed because I have been able to lead a lot of workshops, do a lot of speaking, which I did March and April, and May was just a very busy month where I was able to lead even more workshops. My favorite is this woman who took one of my workshops like 5 years ago. So this is like before I was the Deb Method. She took
before you got famous.
Before I rebranded myself.
Okay.
It was really just proof that the systems I was doing really fit well into my model.
Yeah.
So she took my workshop several years ago, and she emailed me week before last and said, "Hey, Deb, do you mind if I do a workshop on your book with the Society of Professional Journalists?" And I'm like, "You want me to come?" And she's like, "Yes, please." Wow. So it's really nice. So I've been doing a lot of speaking because I really want to help people re-navigate, because a lot of people's paths just they aren't there anymore. So to be invited to go and talk and help people and to realize it's something I've been teaching for so long,
Yeah.
it's such an impact. It's like, okay, let's keep doing this. It's just really gratifying because, like you, I'm all about helping people, and so that was a lot of fun. So we had a really good workshop last week. So
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, it's such an important time for with so much up in the air with the virus and how some people have lost their jobs, some people, I mean, just it's affected everybody. I think it's been very impactful for everybody, but in a little different way potentially for some folks. But yet, um,
well,
with good goals and with the proper alignment, helps people get kind of back in the swing of things.
well, they don't have to even be 100% in the swing of things. Part of my method, theory, whatever, is even if it's just like one little thing, because there's so much we can't control that's out there, what can you create for yourself that makes the world a better place, perhaps, that you can bring to life in the universe? So if I can help inspire people to say, okay, I don't have that much mental space to do something different, but I have a little, and I'm going to use it to do something that brings me joy, that can in turn bring others.
Awesome.
So yeah, I guess my win is I get to talk more. I love having that as a win.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
isn't that why we do this? And I talk about this with clients as well. They come to me, they want to write a book, they want to start a blog, podcast, whatever. And the first thing I say is, this is great. You have a voice and you want to share it. You want to share what you know. And I think especially people who've been through trauma, who've struggled, they need the voice for themselves, but to also let others know that they're not alone.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I love to connect too.
Okay. Oh, well, we got a comment here from Christina. And I think she wrote, I'm wondering how to best acknowledge what's going on in the world, wrongful killings of Black people, without either turning it into a promo opportunity for our business, for ignoring it. How do we respectfully address big deal news events? And we were talking about that before we went live, because we went from, how do we live and talk about the virus without seeming like we're promoting whatever, to these tragedies, and it's everywhere.
I would just say, and as I was mentioning to you, my best friend here, I live in Los Angeles, and it's been kind of crazy the last few days, and it's very sad. My best friend here is Black, and we walk every morning and kind of developed a routine once the virus kicked in a few months back. And so we walk every morning, and we have a lot of deep chats. And I would say just engage and chat with people and just try to learn as much as you can and try to see what you can do to put yourselves in the shoes of those, minorities, Blacks, Latinos, you name it. The more that you can learn, the more you can understand what they're trying to say, is the first step, and they'll appreciate it. And I think once we get a better understanding, we can start to help make a difference.
Knowledge is power. Wasn't that what we...
And true empathy.
Right?
Yeah.
Because you need to know what's going on and to have empathy and have conversations. I love that. And a lot of people are, I think, afraid to bring up sensitive topics. But if you have someone, we'll see if you agree with me, if there's someone that that you care about, you shouldn't ignore what's going on. Even better to just reach out. What can I do? Is there something I can do? Because you can always ask, right?
Absolutely, and you should ask, because they will appreciate it, and they will begin to inform you on what's really going on, how they think and feel in the world, and because it's different, it's different, and yeah, that's what we can do to start. That's a great question.
It was. Thank you, Christina, for bringing that up, because I think it's a question on everybody's minds. So I really appreciate you watching and posting.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we should, I'm like gonna, and I mean, to be as respectful as possible, I'm going to go on to the next question. Because part of being in touch with what's going on in the world and for ourselves, because everybody's rebuilding lives here, let's talk about June goals. How's that? I mean, best transition I could do, so thank you.
Okay.
So tell me, what's going on with you for June? And anyone who is watching, again, please feel free to comment either during the live or after the fact, because a big reason why we share goals is because we all have resources that can help people achieve their goaltopia, get to their destination, accomplish what they want. So yeah. I'm posing the question. I think I've transitioned long enough.
Well, for me, it's just, I'm just kind of in this, I don't want to call it a little bit of a holding pattern since I've been healing and kind of going through such a big change in my life, for the last 5 or 6 months. And my world has changed a little bit. I'm not that I didn't appreciate life, but it feels more, and I hate this word, precious. And, you know what I mean? And so luckily, my very first book about 11 or 12 years ago was on a whole bunch of different ways to stay in balance. And so thank goodness I have those tools. When I wrote that, I learned what kept me in balance and what threw me out of balance. And it helped me learn how to live life more proactively instead of reactively. And it helped me set up routines that kept me, in a, for the most part, a positive flow, even when tough stuff happened, because I was able to kind of recognize it and then implement those things to kind of help me weather tough times. So with that being said, I'm still kind of in a little bit of a holding pattern. I've got some things that I'm working on with a business coach as far as setting up some programs and some other like podcasts and there's a whole bunch of stuff. I'm forgetting them right now, but I'm starting that process.
But they're there. I see them.
Well, yeah, you can see the light bulb above my head. But so those are starting to happen. But I'm also just listening to my body and still healing and not forcing myself too quickly out of that, because that used to be my MO and that didn't work. And so I'm just doing I'm just doing my regular thing, implementing the habits that keep me in balance and just trying to stay in the present moment so I can listen to and hear my intuition come through, which gives me kind of marching orders, if that makes sense, which become goals, which become future projects.
Okay, so I put up the what are your personal goals for June question as well, because I think yours are really, your personal and your professional goals are kind of like in alignment, because you're taking care of yourself while you're creating new things.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So let's talk about these habits. Let's start with self-care, because I don't think we can talk about self-care enough right now.
Yeah.
So what are some simple things people can do to better take care of themselves, to better stay in good health?
Movement's always incredibly important. It's one of the big things for me, this movement, whether it's a walk. Obviously, with the gyms closed now, that makes it a little bit harder. But there's some, there's things that we can do just to get some daily movement, and that just does so much. It just kind of clears the cobwebs out. I think it gets the endorphins going. For me, it activates my intuition and creative juices. So I'm getting so many things, and being in nature too. That just helps ground me. So I'm getting like 4 things just out of going for a walk. So I'd highly recommend that. Creativity, I think being creative is something that I think is really important. And there's so many different ways that we can be creative, but I think it's a very grounding force as well. And I think it's a tool that, just like meditation, it's kind of a form of meditation. It helps turn our brain off and connect. Balance I already kind of mentioned, but gratitude. And sometimes it's not easy to be grateful when a lot of crazy stuff's going on and stuff that is scary or fearful we don't understand. But if we can just hone in on those things that we know that are there for us all the time, it can be as simple as just having a car, or this MacBook Pro that I'm using, or the family that is supporting me, or friends, just if we can hang on to those things in the morning and at the night, just remember what we're grateful for. I think that kind of takes some of the edge off of maybe the fear and unknown. So those are just a few.
Okay, those are good. I'm going to add a couple.
Yeah.
Because whether you're working a job or you're attached to the computer,
yeah,
everybody is connected now. So I think to set reminders to take breaks is huge. I think people forget that. At least once a day, somebody posts, I forgot to eat. How do you forget? Do you forget to eat?
Hell no.
So if you have to set like a reminder at lunchtime and a reminder to take a little walk in the afternoon, you should not be connected all day, every day. And same thing with the news. It's important to know what's going on, but you also don't want to get sucked into hours of watching the news, because that's not, you want to be informed, but you also have to protect yourself. So you will need a little balance there too.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. That's a good point. Yeah.
Okay. So,
yeah. I mean, for me, it's like, I got to do that movement and some of those things first thing. Because if I can't, then I'm kind of got that little bit of anxious energy, and it just helps me settle in and be relaxed when I'm ready to work. But everybody's different. But
yeah, I agree. Everybody is different. That's a really good point. So it's another one of those trial and error things. Now, if I'm just on the computer, I try to remember to keep an eye on the time or set a timer, so I'm not just in this computer position for more than 20, 30 minutes at once, because that's like, it's very hard on your body. So you have to remember, and a lot of people, they go on, I'm on a Zoom call and then another Zoom call and then another Zoom call. And at the end of the day, they can't figure out why they're exhausted. Well, you've been talking to people all day. It's extra energy and effort. So you also want to be mindful of that.
Absolutely. I don't have,
I talk to more people than you do, right?
Well, no, I mean, I've been doing quite a few things recently. I mean, for a while there, I was just resting and healing, but the only times that you probably do a little bit more than I do. I remember when I've writen some books, and like, when I had deadlines, and I was just like camped on that thing, and I would definitely, same thing. I would just, whenever I start to kind of feel like my wheels were spinning and nothing was really, I would get up and I'd go walk for an hour and then come back and just reset myself. It's important.
Yeah. The thing we haven't mentioned is journaling. If you're having anxiety, write it down. And I talk about this in my book a lot, and journaling is a topic in a couple weeks on Goal Chat and Goal Chat Live. But if you're having trouble or anxiety, if you write it out, you're getting it out of your body, and that's also helpful. Another helpful way to deal with what.
Absolutely. I think I know exactly what you mean. I mean, it especially if you can do it before bed, because I think sometimes if that stuff's rattling around in your head, it makes it harder to sleep. It just kind of keeps you from settling in. So absolutely.
Yeah. And there's the artist way says morning pages. You say journal before bed. I say
or anytime.
Do it.
Yeah, no, morning, whatever.
And there's also, there's the mental thing about handwriting a journal, but I always say, if you're only going to write a journal, if you type a journal, then type a journal. Figure out what works for you and do more of that.
Yeah, exactly. There is one of the 5 things that I talked about in my TEDx talk was, one was, there are no rules. Just happily expect the unexpected. So, I mean, it really just comes down to self-awareness and realizing what works best for you and just owning it.
Okay, great.
Right?
Well, what are we going to do? We're just going to sit on this live agreeing with each other? Okay, let's agree with each other.
It's not like we're discussing a controversial topic.
Okay. So what I want to do is, I want whoever's watching to like walk away from this and say, this year sucked. Pretty much everybody agrees that the year has sucked. And last weekend, everything got, as things started to open up, that's when all the protests started and things started closing down again. So I think the best thing we can do is bring whatever positive light we can into the world. And I hate to sound like the optimist, but sorry, not sorry. Um, so think about, what is it that you love that you could do to bring a little more beauty in the world? Is it gardening? Is it, I know this wonderful woman, her name is Beth Howard, and her book is The World Needs More Pie. And she organized this pie-a-thon. She lives in Iowa and drove up to Minneapolis collecting pies along the way and did this great, just this wonderful um, expression of love and sharing food, sharing pie. It's just beautiful. So I
Who did
love.
she send it to? Who did she take it to?
I believe she just set up a stand of pie. So she collected pie to bring to the residents, and I'll find the link and I'll put it in the comments. And it was just the, her thing is pie, baking is love, and she wanted to share the love. And so she took pictures, love good road trip, of her picking up pies along the way and then bringing them up to Minneapolis. It was just beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
So I think those are the stories that we need to watch out for, and also see what it is we can create to make the world a little bit better.
I think I don't disagree. This year has been very difficult in a lot of ways. I mean, and with everything, and then throw cancer on top of it too.
Yeah,
But
right.
but I look at it as a big reset, and I think it's a wonderful opportunity for people to really kind of look in the mirror and have their boat rocked a little bit, and see what habits weren't working for them, what ideas weren't working for them, and to become more self-aware and grow into a better version of themselves. And that's what I've been trying to do. So with that being said, I really challenge people just to do the deep dive and see where you're getting triggered, see some, a lot of people's habits have been forcibly altered or stopped or changed, and it might suck at first, or more often than I would like to think that things are blessings in disguise, and so see how you can improve, see how you can become more in tune with an optimal version of yourself. So
No,
that's my 2 cents.
I'll take your 2
Okay.
cents.
You can have. I'll give you a nickel. All right.
Excellent. Well, and one of my favorite phrases is change happens, and change is happening to everyone. And part of why I wrote the book is, when change happens, you have two choices. You can run and hide. You can take a breath. Usually you have to do that regardless, or you can embrace the change and see exactly what you're talking about. Do a deep dive into yourself. See what it is that you want and what you can create to make that want a reality. Because we do have, especially when it feels like we have no control, there are little things that we can control, and that's what we have to look at. What can we do? What is that thing that we've been meaning to do for a long time? If we have a little extra, like, downtime, what is that thing that we've wanted to do, and how can we bring it into fruition because we have a little extra time?
Yeah. And get uncomfortable. I know this is going to sound, just get. It's okay to be uncomfortable. It's okay to just. Usually, change doesn't happen until we get a little forced to get a little uncomfortable. You know what I mean? And so just and start to step into those things that you wanted to do that you never did, like you just kind of mentioned. It's a perfect opportunity.
Okay, look at change as opportunity. Look at this time as a way to reset and refocus and move forward.
Yeah.
Okay, so, and our friend Christina, who's watching live, thank you. And her personal goal, she gave me professional goals, so I think we should share them, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, professional goal, polish the version of the article I'm writing on coronavirus tests and pitch it to 5 reputable news magazines. Love
Nice.
it. Excellent. And it's an excellent use of getting information out there.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And her personal goal is to read 3 good books.
Nice.
Do you have any good book recommendations, Brian?
Habits for Success: Inspired Ideas to Help You Soar. And it's I feel, yeah, well, I mean, I'm tongue in cheek, but I am very proud of how it turned out. You know, it's not just a technical self-help books. It's anything but that. I try to make it inspiring, entertaining, and thought-provoking. So that would be one.
Okay, so I'm taking the opportunity. I'm putting your book link in the comments.
Thank you.
And here we go. I'll put mine in too.
Yeah. How about what have you read lately that you've enjoyed?
Don't ask me that question.
Why?
Because
it's a conversation.
It is a good conversation. I need a good book. I need to read a good book because most of the reading I do is, professionally. And the last book I probably read was mine. So.
Yes, I'd highly recommend something you can get lost in so you can give yourself a break, because I know that you're one that works a lot.
Well, I love food mysteries, so I really need to find a new food mystery. I do.
I've never heard of that genre before.
Are you kidding me? It's like a whole cozy. It's a cozy mystery genre, and it's mysteries where the main character is a chef, and then they get embroiled in some sort of murder, and then they help solve the crime. I mean,
so chef/detective.
Yeah, well, except no, a chef acting as a detective, or a baker acting as a detective.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah. Wow, I've never heard of that before. Okay, do it.
Okay, so I have a bonus goal of reading a book for fun this month. Okay, I probably could use that. How about you? What is your bonus goal going to be, Brian?
Oh boy. I think I've just been giving them to myself the last 6 months, since I've just been kind of healing and taking care of myself. I mean, I read books that I love to watch. I'm inspired by biographies, autobiographies, documentaries, interviews. There's that, I don't know what, I mean, if people, wherever they're listening, get the AXS channel here in LA, it's like $2.99. But Dan Rather does a show called The Big Interview, where he interviews a lot of actors and musicians from the 60s, 70s. And it's just fascinating. I just learned so much. And I love hearing people's just backstories on how they got to where they're at. It just inspires me. So that's what I like to do.
Okay, I'm gonna make this into like an overarching bonus goal.
Okay.
Because you knew I was going to. So if you're looking at June saying, okay, June, I'm going to make a difference. I'm going to work on my projects. But one thing I want you to add is a bonus goal to look into something that interests you that you haven't necessarily given enough time to. And it could be a TV show. It could be a hobby. It could be one of the best things I think that's come out of all this isolation. I know. Leave it to me to put a positive spin, is there's all these great online workouts. It's like fun. You can try a whole bunch of different things without leaving your house. And I love, as you know, dancing and dance fitness. And did you know there are like dozens of incarnations of dance fitness? It's so cool. So whatever it is that gets you excited, that gets you motivated, that gets you interested,
yeah,
yourself a little bit of time and see what's out there and learn more about it.
Thank you. I feel like, thank you. I feel like I kind of am. And one thing I did with this, I just started putting some programs together that are exciting to me, because I've never really done that before. So I don't know if that would be considered in that.
That counts. Everything counts.
Yeah. Yeah. No, so I'm definitely doing stuff I've never done before.
Excellent.
Yes.
Okay, you just want your gold stars. I know you do.
No. Well, yes, who doesn't?
Yes. Okay, so if you are watching, please let us know what you are going to do to move yourself forward professionally this month, what you're going to do to move yourself forward personally. I know for me, I have to work on building up my YouTube channel, which, by the way, I've put all of the Goal Chat Live videos up on the Deb Method YouTube, and the Change Happens podcast coming soon. I know it's been coming soon for a while, but June is gonna be it. And I started a coaching promotion for June because I never do that, but I figure a lot of people are rebooting, so debmethod.com/jumpstart. It's got information on that. But I just want, and if you're listening and you have a topic you want us to, I've got some great topics coming up in June, but if you have a topic you want to cover on Goal Chat Live, please shoot me an email. Just go to the debmethod.com/contact, and just like everywhere possible to get a hold of me, you could find me. And where can people find you, Brian?
I'm in Van Nuys right now, but you mean online? Okay.
You're just so funny.
And I can hear the helicopters now over the protests. G Brian Benson. What's that?
They were here like earlier.
I know. gbrianbenson.com.
Well, look at that. There you go.
Well, hey, awesome. Yeah. And so there's, you can contact me there. There's a lot of fun stuff on there too, videos and short films and just a little bit of everything. So thanks for asking.
Oh, you are welcome. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. I want you to, let's leave this. I'd like you to share one other little pearl of wisdom of something people who are watching can do, like now, like today, like they can go to this program and this is where to find me. And one thing they can do to recenter themselves.
Know that you're enough just being who you are and what you have to work with. If you can get to that place, everything else falls into place.
Okay. And I will end this with my
yes.
Positive, you can do it, because we all have that power. Again, we agree.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for joining me
today. You're welcome. Thank you.
Benson, and thank you all for watching. Whether you're live or on the replay, please let us know what you're working on so we can cheer you on. Also, join me for Goal Chat every Sunday night on Twitter at 7 p.m. Pacific. Just follow at the Deb Method. And next Monday and every Monday at 4, join me on the Mango Publishing Facebook page, where I will be speaking with another awesome person like my buddy Brian here, to see what we can do to give you some tools and tactics to set yourself up for success. Meantime, have a great week and just take care of yourself, everyone.
Take care.